Hello, I am Pavan Kumar, Executive President of BIGCOM, a board on international governance and compliance management. This is a LASEPS initiative, and as informed, we are hosting a roundtable conference in Bengaluru on Saturday, the 3rd of November 2012. This video will actually help you in understanding the format of the conference, little logistics relating to the conference, the venue, and a lot of other things. This will be a guidance to you on what you expect to see on the day of conference, that is 3rd November. First of all, to begin with, you might have a lot of queries and questions, and you might have to contact our team at BIGCOM. So you may contact the three names that are given here, and especially the one in the middle, Mr. Fasiu Sama, who is a Chief Evangelist for BIGCOM, can be contacted for any questions or queries. We also have V. Pavan Kumar, that is myself, Executive President. You can contact me on 98480-84284, or you can also contact Ms. Ramya Krishna, Secretary BIGCOM, on 90102-34587. About the venue. Venue is Lee Meridian, which is at Sankhya Road, quite opposite Golf Link in Bengaluru, which is a 5-star property. You may reach this place by around 8:30 to 9 in the morning on 3rd November. Certain ground rules to have an idea as to what can be done and what cannot be. Photography is allowed where we have official photographers taking pictures, and anyone who wishes to have a couple of pictures captured throughout the conference may do so at their wish. However, videography through the mobile phones or any other way is not allowed. Only the official videographer who is appointed by BIGCOM is allowed to do the videography. Audio recording is strictly prohibited, and everybody is requested to please either switch off their mobile phones or keep them in silent mode while the conference is on, just to give a pleasant experience to everybody around. The key question is dress code. So the dress code for men is formals, which is jacket and a tie, and then we have similar dress code for women, which is formal suit, or they can alternatively also look at sari as an option for dress code. There can be a lot of confusion with reference to what is this panel and how it is structured, and what is the panel member doing, and what is the role of an editor. So the structure of panel is right in front of you, where we have the panel chair who is going to head the entire panel, give a proper direction to the panel discussion, and also drive it forward in the right way. We have a chief editor who will be helping the panel in making a presentation on the day of the conference, and which presentation is eventually presented to all the other panelists across in the conference hall. We have a panel co-chair who might help the panel chair, or in case of exigencies, if the panel chair does not attend, panel co-chair will occupy the position of panel chair and lead the panel discussion. We have again panel members who can come in and contribute their perspectives to the panel discussion. We have, as you know, 6 panel members apart from the editor and chief editor. So including the chief editor, editor, chair, and the co-chair, we have totally 8 panelists to each of the panel that we have in the BIGCOM's RTC. Responsibilities of a panel chair. On the day of the conference, panel chair may facilitate the panel brainstorming session or panel discussion, what we call it. We can also call this as an intra-panel discussion amongst the panel. Then he will host the panel presentation on behalf of the panel. These are the 2 basic responsibilities of a panel chair on the day of the conference. Before the conference, that maybe you can freeze on the scope of the topic which you are going to deliberate. Apart from that, maybe coordinate with the chief editor and try to touch base with each of the panel members, and also tell them what they need to do and what they may not. Apart from this, panel chair has also got few responsibilities after the conference, which is reviewing the industry advisory report as prepared by the chief editor, and also take the views of all other panelists and then finalize the report. All panels will be assisted by a chief editor who will synthesize the findings and report them in a predefined format. This is the role of a chief editor. And the IAR, which is an industry advisory report, will be created by the chief editor and published as authored by the chief editor, panel chair, and the panel members. Again, to look at the responsibilities of the chief editors, they are twofold. We have responsibilities on the day of the conference, after the conference as well. On the day of conference, he be a part in the panel brainstorming session, synthesize the views of the panel during the brainstorming session, and help the panel develop a presentation. And this is why we have also provided for a co-chief editor or a co-editor who will help the editor in synthesizing the views and also prepare or edit the PowerPoint presentations that are required to be taken care. And the chief editor also has few responsibilities after the conference, that is to create the industry report, send this report to the panel for their review, collect their opinions, and then send final version to LASIP or BIGCOM for its publication. All panels, again, as we have discussed, will be assisted by chief editor, and the chief editor will prepare a report which will be authored by the editor, panel chair, and the panel members. Responsibilities of each panel member on the day of the conference is to take part in the brainstorming session, be a part of panel presentation. Probably if there are any questions asked by the other panelists, depending on the panel chair's convenience and gestures, we might have obviously go ahead and take these questions. And then after the conference, review the industry report as is circulated to you by the chief editor, and then finally mention your express views on the matter, and then the report will be built by the chief editor. Anybody who wants to understand who are the other panelists apart from you on the panel, you can always look at our updated panel roster at bigcom.org 2012 Bengaluru panelists. Please note that this list is being updated as and when we receive profiles from confirmed panel members. So there can be certain changes in the panel because last moment exigencies might happen. Certain people may pull off on the conference and we might have new inclusions. So this is updated from time to time and this is available for everybody's view. You may check this panel roster. The most important aspect of the whole conference, probably why we are all coming to one place to actually discuss and participate in the conference, is to actually give something and take something from the conference. This is all starting with the brainstorming. The brainstorming, which we said is an intra-panel discussion on a given sub-theme. Each panel is already given a sub-theme to deliberate on. We have 8 panelists totally, with the editor and the chief editor, a chair and a co-chair. So this panel will brainstorm for about 3 hours on the following aspects. Number 1, you may brainstorm on commissions and omissions relating to the theme given to you. They can be key threats, industry best practices. Industry best practices will generally allow you to probably procrastinate and see what are the eventualities that can occur and therefore take preventive measures. So preventive measures, we are calling them as firewall or systems and procedures in place which can take care of that. Then we have ceasefire, like compounding and compromise. Then there can be any additional points the panel feels relevant. Then notes listed down in predefined format. That is, we said the panel presentation must be made in a given format. Though the panel is free to deviate from this, the recommendation from LASIP and BIGCOM is to please adhere to this format so that it gives uniformity to all the presentations by each of the panels. Presentation by each panel after that will begin when all the 5 panels have done their brainstorming. Each panel will start making their own presentation to all the other panels. And this presentation will be for a duration of 40 minutes, where panel presentation is 25 minutes. And after that, we will be having an interactive session with all other panelists for a period of 15 minutes. And throughout this 40 minutes duration, it is expected that all the panel members are sitting on the dais, and one of the panel members is at the podium addressing or answering questions. Though the entire panel can take questions and answer them, maybe one at the podium may also keep answering the questions from time to time. There can be a question at this stage as to who should make a presentation at the podium. This presentation at the podium can be made by a person as is authorized by the panel. And this person may be the editor, the chair himself, the co-chair, or any other person whom you think is an effective speaker, you can choose. And such person can make the presentation. And it is preferred that the panel presentation shall be made by only one or two rather than all the 5 or 6 make presentation, and then it creates a confusion and wastage of time. It is suggested that only 1 or 2 panel members make presentation at the podium and the rest be seated for the questions to come at the appropriate time. While you are doing these panel discussions, we, the BIGCOM team, are providing you resources which can be helpful in actually creating presentation and also put down your points at the appropriate places. We have post-its which can be used as a note to actually extend the viewpoints from one to other, and these can be posted on the whiteboards. We have chart papers on which you can write down long notes or make points. You have marker pens. You have writing pads and pens. You have a laptop which is available on which you can build a presentation. You also have an extension cord with multiple pins. Maybe you can also keep charging your mobile phones or laptops respectively. Then you have blank A4 size papers which will again help you jot down your points. Then we have a ball of toffees which can refresh your moods and give you the colors that you want at times. We have some technical resources also available, like we have a LCD projector which can be used to make a PowerPoint presentation and give it to the audience. Then we have a podium with a microphone. We have a few wireless microphones on each of the round table which the panel is using. As I've already mentioned, we have an extension cord, we have a laptop, and when the panel is actually making a presentation, there will be a dais along with the center table in front of you, and the dais will easily accommodate entire panel, and one will be standing at the podium, therefore podium is provided to you. Activities after the roundtable conference, though the roundtable conference ends in a day, which starts in the morning and ends by the evening, the afterthoughts and the responsibilities do not end here. So the responsibilities extend over a period of time. Let's say if you're looking at 2 weeks after RTC, the panel chief editors come out with draft industry advisory reports, which will be circulated to all the members. Then 3 weeks after the RTC, panel members undertake offline review of these IARs and provide inputs to chief editor. Chief editor will finalize the IAR, and at the end of the 4 weeks, which is after the RTC, we see the release of IAR to the entire industry. There are a few other points which we would like to mention at this stage, though they may not be as important, but being a non-profit organization, these points are very important. So please note that LASIP will receive your participation fee in cash, check or demand draft, and will provide you a receipt which can be taken back by you. If you have any special request, kindly feel free to touch base with the associates as above. Apart from the requirements what we have mentioned, if you need something more or if you have any special request that needs to be arranged at the venue, you can please let our team know, and we will be definitely be more than willing to help you on this count. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. We have the BIGCOM's event coming up on 3rd November, Saturday. We are looking forward to your participation there, and there are few formats of panel presentations on mergers and acquisitions. For sample, you can review this. Then we have all the panels in front of you. The panel headed by mergers and acquisitions is by Mr. Vishwanathan Ganeshan, MD and CEO, Prime Trust Management Consulting Private Limited. We have a panel co-chair, Mr. Murli Anand Sivan, who is partner GSA law firm. Then we have a chief editor, Professor Vijay Kumar, who is a professor at Acharya Institute of Management Sciences, which is AIMS. Sir, Ms. Kavita Desai, coming up from AIMS. We have Mr. Srinivas Kalale, who is Vice President Corporate Development, ICA Software Solutions. We have Mr. Anurup Omgar, who is a Principal Associate List Partners. We have Mr. Rakesh Sood, Director ACCL. We have Mr. B. Krishnamurthy, CEO BKM Consulting. The whole of these profiles constitute the panel on M&A, and this panel will deliberate on intricacies and several sub-themes in M&A, and you can take the pleasure of hearing to these great panelists. The panel presentation will go like this. Basically, the industry challenges, influences, and interventions are identified, and the panel might deliberate on this. We have in front of you 3 boxes. One is for the challenges, and the other one is influences and root causes. Whatever challenges and root causes are identified, you may key down these points in the respective boxes. And also there can be interventions or best practices which will actually help you beat these challenges or eliminate the root causes or influences. So whatever best practices that you see can be placed in the 3rd box, and these 3 can help you really go a long way in actually talking about the various sub-themes that you have. Then we have next one, that is maybe you have extended topics which go beyond 1 slide. You can obviously use multiple slides and fill in the topics here. Then the focus also is on governance and compliance management. Therefore, though there are several sub-themes like mergers, amalgamations, you have corporate governance, you have corporate law management, and several of them, at the end of the day, BIGCOM's focus has always been on governance and compliance. So how do these sub-themes help in balancing the governance and the compliance with the commerce? End of the day, if an enterprise wants to take out the best value of commerce from every transaction, especially from activities like mergers and acquisitions, the most synergy is expected by the corporates in terms of commercial values. But how do we, in terms of governance and compliance, balance this commercial aspect? This is what I think the entire panel would focus on. And if we can add inputs on this line, this will be a tremendous value add to the other industries. Then the panel may also look at the future prospects out of each sub-theme, like M&As. Currently, what is the situation of M&A, and what is the short future of M&A versus the long future of M&A, and the thought process can run to the extent of maybe as long as a span of 2 years to 25 years, and see how the prospects look to be in each of these sub-themes. Example, mergers, acquisitions. Example, the HR and industrial laws. Example, the IPRs. These things will have a great future to come up. So we would also request of these themes and also throw light on how those look from 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and also 25 years from now. This would by itself take the panel presentation a long way, starting with the influencers, challengers, then looking at the interventions, and then the best practices in the industry. After that, the future perspective of each sub-theme. So this would exhaustively cover the whole of the perspectives of the panel on mergers and acquisitions or several other topics. So BIGCOM would request each of the panel member to kindly go through this format and also stick to the format to the extent possible. And the panel chairs may kindly adhere to these formats. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen, on the entire format for the presentation, and we wish to see you on 3rd of November. Have great luck.